Hello. Hi. Welcome to Scuffed as Fuck. Hold on, 1 second. Gotta adjust. I'm almost ready. I couldn't do a "we're starting soon" thing, so I'm just sort of this is what's happening. I'll make sure. I couldn't do the I'm starting soon or whatever because phone. So give me a second to figure that out. Ouch! Sharp. The models are sharp. Why is chaos always so sharp? Okay. So it says the stream is offline, but it also says it's online. I'm not sure anymore. It looks like it's going. Yeah. It's going. It's just scuffed as hell. Alright, that's fine. You guys are going to have to live with a scuffed stream. Good morning. Hi, how's it going? Let me make sure I can hear me. Hold on, I gotta check that too. Okay, if I'm sitting here by my phone, what does it sound like? This is what I would normally do, before, I started, but... Yeah, it sounds fine. Alright. Alright, I got distracted by my own voice. Okay. So here's the plan. Ugh! I got models to make. I got a combat patrol for, Chaos Space Marines because they were all models I could use. Basically, I gotta move my paints out of the way. So, I play CSM, but I haven't really ever sat down and, finished the army, so I'm finally getting around to doing that, instead of just sort of conceptually playing CSM with some models. I want to actually get my 2,000 points done. So I figured a combat patrol would be the good way to go, because I'm also doing word bearers, and word bearers are very demon focused, and this combat patrol came with a master of possessions, and also hello, I have gloves on, not because I'm trying to hide any skin tone or anything, but because my fingers are all fucked up, and I don't want to give that to you, you know what I mean? Because it'll be a nice close-up camera angle of my fucked up fingers. So anyway, yeah, what was I gonna say? So I'm working on word bearers, and so I'm doing a lot of demon stuff, and I figured this would be good. It would give me a bunch of extra of the regular Chaos Marines, which I already had basically 10 of, but I had 10 regular Bolter Marines. I specifically designed them, or I chose just the bolters on them specifically so I could buy this box set, get another set of 10, and give them all the specialty weapons, which I've done. So now I have 20 regular Chaos Space Marines that I have modeled some with the... Sorry, I'm fixing my tea right now. Modeled some with the special weapons and most of them with bolters so that I can just take a squad of whatever I want. So it's I'm going up against my Iron Warriors friend, I'm going to bring the guy with the rocket launcher and the guy with the Melta in the squad, that kind of stuff. And they'll have those already modeled. If we have time, I might do some painting today too, but... some TAS marks. I can't pick up the cup. Sorry. Okay. Also, there's no avatar today because I'm streaming on my phone. And that's not set up. But there's no music either because, again, I'm streaming on my phone. I gotta find a way to take the phone stream and turn it into, what's it called? Send it directly to my PC or hook it up with my PC. The problem is this desk, my working desk, is on the other side of the room from my PC. If I had a webcam, you just see my paint desk behind me, kind of thing. So I'd have to drape cords across the entire room or find some way to make it work. So for now, this is what we're doing. I might try and oh, no, hold on. The problem is, if I do this, it looks much better, but it's a much wider angle. We'll try this for a bit. If I don't like it, we'll swap back to the portrait mode. Okay. Because it's a little shallow. I don't really have a... Wait. That's right, this goes higher. Oh, yes, wait, hold on. Yes, and my desk is a fucking nightmare. Alright, so we're working on the Possessed first. Get all my fucking paintbrushes into the paintbrush pile. I've got so many paintbrushes, I need to go through and purge them. Okay, first step So anything with 14, it's like labeled 14, is going to be any of these backpacks, any of these, like, you can't see these, any of these, they're not jetpacks, they look like jetpacks. I think in the original sculpt they were supposed to be jetpacks, and then Games Workshop changed their mind because they wanted specific jetpack ones, and so they've called these, they're just like the power pack for your power armor. They're what give your armor the power to do power stuff. Everything is power something, power fist, power glaive, power sword, whatever. So of course power armor has a power pack. Sorry, I'm moving shit around. Okay, so whenever it says 14, I'm gonna forget this shit. Like right here, it says 14. And by 14, it means any of the power packs available. This is going to make, I don't know how many possessed, but I think one is a possessed champion, so we'll start with him. Obviously, and he's probably going to have his little icon to indicate that he's the champion, otherwise I won't be able to tell them apart, and then we'll just do the rest. Now, these are very specific. They say, like, oh, do C4, C14 and C18, but we'll see if there's any, oh yeah, okay. There's a lot of, like, when you're looking at Warhammer model instructions, you'll see, like, this little shield icon. For whatever reason, shield icon means interchangeable parts. There's a lot of, like, interchangeable options on how we want to build these guys, and I love that shit. I love customizing them, and it also makes it so that if I ever have to make more, I don't feel like I'm just going to have, like, twins in the same unit. I can go through and see which things I didn't use and then, use those the next time around. But for the starter ones, I'm going to use my favorite parts when I can. So, I'm going to start with the champion. That's C1 and C2. Now for the fun game of finding C1 and C2. Let's see. Is this still a good spot? Yeah, it's still a good spot. I marked out on my map where's a good spot to, like, hold my stuff. Here's C1. God, these models are so sharp. They're like poking through the gloves and stabbing me. So the gloves are going to be a little bit less dexterity because I can't feel what I'm doing as well as I normally would. But here's what it is. That's C1. And if it becomes too much of a problem, you're just going to have to deal with my fucked up hands. C2. Fucking C2? Hello? What is C2? It's a leg. Alright, we're looking for a leg labeled C2. If you see it, holler. It's like, oh, it's right here. It's like Dora the Explorer. I'm gonna wait. Do you see C2? Where? Behind the rock? Oh, on the sprue. Okay, I'm gonna stop that. Also, I've gotten so many, like, I used to throw these out, like, as a kid, when I would get the transfer sheets. I never knew how to use them, and I thought they were silly looking, so I'd throw them out. Now I use them like crazy, but, mostly just, I'm gonna be using, what I love, the best part about these, excuse me, oh my god, dropping all my shit. I don't know, I just lost one, I don't know where it went under me, and it somehow disappeared into the void of under my desk. Anyway, the point is, I've got a lot of these transfer sheets now, and I mostly am starting to use them. I did Black Legion for a little bit, changed my mind, I have some Alpha Legion units, but mostly, you can see it's all, I started my word bearer stuff. I haven't put too many transfers on because it's a whole process. I kind of want to sit down and just do it. And this is technically a Chaos Knight sheet, but it's got some really good Chaos stuff in it that I can just put on things. So, keeping that. And then all these, like, words, all these runes from Colchis, I believe. Colchisian runes. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what it is. Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. Oof. Okay, these gloves are a problem. It was a great idea. You guys are just gonna have to deal with my fucked up hands, I think. I need to be able to hold it, it turns out. I need to be able to feel it. Alright. That's just what's happening. Apparently that was way more important than I realized. Alright. I also will take the back of my hobby knife and find any egregious mold lines and scrape them off, but this one looks pretty okay. You don't want to go too hard on some of these because, like, the back of the mold line can get... Or sorry, not the back. The back of the knife can still be pretty sharp, especially on a fresh blade, and you can still carve into it in ways you don't want to, you know? That being said, I tend to use the carving method to get rid of my, like, flash and stuff. But, you know, I try not to, or I start to carve and then I finish it up with a little scrape on the back of the knife. Because I want them to look as clean as possible. Also, I've kind of started a new thing for me. For most of my time modeling, I have used plastic glue. However, I am impatient. And so I would use plastic glue, and often my models would fall apart like while I was building them. Which is crazy if you think about it, because plastic glue literally melts the plastic to each other. But it would also mean that if I fucked up, like I made a mistake, then the glue would get immediately, would like set basically immediately. Also, what's up, Red Panda? How's it going, dude? The glue would set basically immediately, and not set, but like would start to melt immediately, and then when I would take it apart, the pieces would be all like melted and stuff. What army are you building now? It's still Chaos Marines. I'm still Chaos through and through, but it's Word Bearers, so I'm doing Possessed right now. I'm doing the Possessed champion. So hey boy, how's it going? Let's see. How does this fit? What am I looking at here? This, and then this attaches. What the fuck? What the fuck, GW? Hold on. Okay, yes, and then this somehow sticks its. What? Hold on, I'm gonna bring this close to my face real fast. Gotcha. I get a game. Yeah, no, we didn't get a chance to play. I'm trying to work on learning my army a bit better. There we go. Okay. Let me show you what it was. It was like, put the foot in here and then attach this like around that. So yeah, I'm still trying to learn my army, and I'm trying to get used to using dark packs. I lost the tournament, and I think part of why I lost, I mean, I'm not good. That's part of why I lost. But also, part of why I lost so hard was that I never used dark packs, which I should be using, especially if I'm playing Word Bearers, because the Word Bearers have like the special dark packs, like the upgraded ones. So yeah, that's the, that was my problem there. And I learned that the dark packs, like, go to the specialist units, so if I bring Khorne Berserkers, or if I bring Plague Marines, or whatever, I can still use them and still use the dark packs on them. It's like a special CSM thing, which I think is really cool. Yeah, not using your army rule is a massive nerf. Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of stupid. I was using there's a version, because at the time I was playing Black Legion, there's a version that has, it's not the army rule, but it's like the detachment rule, and that one basically gives you Chaos Oath of Moment. It's basically the same thing, and I did remember that, but, one of, if not the best army rule. Yeah, so, I did nerf myself pretty hard. Okay, we come to our first choice already. The first choice. Do we want a claw on the champion, or some sort of chainsword? Like, how possessed do we want him to go? I kind of want to lean more towards the more fucked up, as fucked up as possible, like less marine, more possessed, especially for the champion. So I think I'm going to go claw. I want him to really be like, the demon is basically, like, if you take a, like when a fruit is overripe and there's just like, it's starting to crack open and you can see some of the fruit on the inside, like something like that, but for like a person. Okay, so that's C3. Where'd I put the sprue? There it is. Ow. And I'm also getting cultists and things. Okay. Or I bought a box that had cultists and things too. Okay, C3, and I bought the entire, hold on, where's my box? I got the entire Chaos Combat Patrol, which was all stuff I could use. Not a single duplicate thing that I couldn't use. I got the entire Chaos Combat Patrol for $9 at my local store, because I sold a bunch of models that I don't use, that I just sit in my shelf that I just bought to paint. A bunch of like Tyranids and a bunch of Age of Sigmar stuff, like my Gloomspike Gits and my Ossiarch Bone Reapers. that I don't really play and I have no intention of playing. And I sold those, or I sold some of them, and I still have a whole bunch. And I got like several $100 or like $100 something in credit, and then it was enough that like the box was $9. It was great. And it feels like I only paid $9 for the box because I freed up space for me, and it was just like, it was excellent. And someone got some models that they get to play with that are new to them, so it was a win all the way around. So if you're ever like sitting on models you don't know, you're never really gonna play, totally just sell them at your like local game store, their consignment shelf if they have one. And not only does it give it to someone else, but you get money out of it and you can turn it into new stuff. And I would also recommend selling it at like a super high discount. So like, I would take the base price, right, the GW price. I take 20% off of that because that's what most game stores sell their stuff at. So let's say it's $100. I take 20% off. Now it's $80. Then I think about, okay, is it built, primed, and painted? Usually for me, the answer is yes. And if it's any of those things, if it's built, if it's primed, if it's painted, any of that, because once you build it, you remove customization. Once you prime it, you remove like, there's a layer of paint already on it that someone has to deal with. And once you paint it, now there's even more paint someone has to deal with if they're trying to get rid of it. If they want to just strip the model, it's a lot more work, the more work you put in. So even if building it though, you've basically lowered the value of the thing. So I take that 20% off original GW price, and then I take that and I just dump it another 20% basically. So I don't know what 20% of 60 is. Math is hard, but essentially I wouldn't do 20% of, but I would not 60, 80. So like if it was $100 and it goes down to 80 because of the discount, then I would think, okay, I've built and painted this, so I'm going to bring it down to something that would make it still feel cheap compared to the discounted price at the store. So that'll be 60. I'm still getting $60 for that model. Then of course the store takes its like 15% cut or whatever it is. But so actually I'm only getting like 50 if I'm being really rough about the math. But that's still $50 for a model that I got to build, paint, and like fuck around with, and I got to play with it essentially. And so what did I pay? So for the $100, I don't buy from GW. So it would have been $80 for me essentially. Or I buy from GW, but I buy from local game stores instead. So if it's $80 I paid for, and then I sell it back for 50 overall, someone's getting a massive deal also. But I basically paid $30 to build it, paint it, have a good time with it, keep it on my shelf for a few years, and then give it back. I basically rented the model. And that's actually been kind of nice, especially when it's like, okay, I'm running out of space, time to get rid of stuff, And that's a good time to do it, for me at least, is when I'm like, okay, I've run out of shelf space, and this because it's full of models that I don't use. Speaking of, I also, and there's some that I will like sell for like super cheap. Like, last night I sold a buddy of mine, basically 20 Termagants. I sold all my GW stuff. Was sold so fast. Most was original in box, but yeah, it goes real quick too. Like I put that stuff, I got that box with money I made, or with the stuff I made. Like, and basically, I put it in the shelf is what I'm trying to say. Like only like a week ago, and it was basically all gone. 40K goes faster, but they both go. And depending on your store, if your store does a lot of like Sigmar stuff and doesn't do a lot of 40K stuff, then 40K will go faster. Sorry, Sigmar will go faster. But yeah, I sold a buddy of mine like 20 Termagants, 3 Van Ryan Leapers, a Psychophage, and something else. It was like the start set or whatever. I felt so rich afterwards. Yeah, it's yeah. As I sold him that, and I sold that whole thing for like $35, because it was part of the start set, and the start set was like 90 overall, and I like took it down to 60, and then I took it in half, so it was 35, basically. And it was, or 100 overall. Anyway, the point was, I sold it for like $35, and it's great that someone else gets to use them for something. But yeah, I love going into the store with, store credit, because you can walk in and be like, hello, I'd like this primer. Yes, store credit, I'm not even going to take out my wallet. Thank you, and then you just walk away. Like, they put your store credit thing on, you're like, cool. Because you're going to come back. Like, if you're big into the hobby, always go store credit. That's my other advice. If you're big into the hobby and you like that store, always go store credit, because then you support your store a bit more, but also you're going to come back and you're probably going to spend that money on new models anyway. Around 7,000 euros. Jesus. That's a lot. That's a lot of models. Also, model building tip from me. Oops, I put the glue in the wrong spot. Put the glue in the right spot. Tip 1. Tip 2, dry fit. Always dry fit the models first before you try and glue them. Always make sure you know where the piece is going before you try and glue it. I used to make that mistake as a kid. I'd be like, yeah, I think I get it. And I would just immediately, I'd put glue on stuff and then I'd just wiggle it around until I figured out what it looked like. And half my models looked like melted messes because I was using, you know, plastic glue and, using plastic glue, and it was, making everything really messy. Also, I was talking about this earlier and I got distracted. The reason why I'm not using plastic glue as much lately is the super glue, whoops, that's a little guy that, I have extra, like basically an extra body. I might put together an extra marine if I can find an extra base. Anyway, the point is, because I've got a lot of leftover bits. I'm very late. I'm not very lazy. I'm very, what's the word? Impatient. And this takes too long to set fully. This super glue sets so fast, sometimes it's a problem. But it does set very, very fast. And then when on times when it needs to set faster, you can get like insta-set stuff to let you just immediately make it go. Which I've used once or twice, but it's really hard to use alone because you basically have to hold the part in place that's not gluing right, get the insta-set and either spray it with one hand or like unscrew it and do a little dot with that hand. But you still need, you really, to make it work efficiently, you need two people to hold it, or one person to hold it together and someone else to come insta-set it. Yeah, with so much stuff. New editions, boxes, Space Hulk, books from different editions, many older ones. Yeah. Models on Built in Box are really good. Those you can sell for basically the same price. You could take like $5 off or something, and people will say, "Oh, it's a deal," and they'll come get it. But I like playing with the models too much that I could never just leave them in the box. I have a pile of shame, but my pile of shame is like unpainted models. It's not. I don't have any boxes. The only box I have right now is a Gundam that is half built. I started to build the Gundam yesterday when I went to go sell my stuff, and I was halfway through when I left because I had other stuff come up, and then I got home and had bought this box for $9, and I was like, I immediately wanted to start building it, so I built all the Marines and the Master of Possessions, and when I did that, I had to put away my Gundam that I was working on. So that's the only one that's currently still in its box, and it's just because I got distracted yesterday. All right, like now, this has taken me 23 minutes to put 3 pieces together because I've been talking, and I like to gesticulate while I talk. All right. Oh, I also do this. I know this is kind of weird. A lot of people like to keep their instructions like clean, but I mark where I've been in case I ever have to pause and come back. I know where I'm at. Chose this one, and it's a reminder for myself too. So this means this still exists. Okay. And yes, I'm using a little Gundam paint pen for that. It's just that it marks very nicely. Sold the new available stuff. Typically 20% discount. Damn, that's a really good discount. There's no wonder people came by and scooped that up. Like, yeah. Like war gamers. Okay. Everyone talks about how bad it is that GW is so expensive, and they're right. It does suck for the consumer that, you know, this box of models that I'm so excited that I bought for $9 was like $160 US when I went to go buy it, right? That sucks especially because this is supposed to be the start collecting box, essentially, that they just renamed. So like if someone wants to like collect these models, they're like, oh, where do I start? Oh, start with the Combat Patrol. What's the Combat Patrol? Oh, it's $160, and there's a bunch of other shit you need to buy, like knives and glue and whatever else and paints. So it's a really big upfront investment, and it's a hard sell sometimes, you know? Like, but that being said, despite that, the fact that they are so expensive means that, like, I had a point. I was going somewhere with a point. The fact that they are so expensive means that they that when there's deals that you can really drop money down on stuff, like make a deal essentially with your old models, that, you know, that deals are way more prevalent and everyone's really like looking out for them because they're, you know, they're expensive. But like for some of the cheaper like boss monster models or whatever you can get at, you know, your local game store for like the big epic encounters or whatever, those are already like $15 for a fucking massive miniature. No one's really going to be looking for a deal on that one, or going to be willing to sell it for less than what they paid for it. But for GW, because it's so expensive, people are like, oh yeah, I'll sell that for less because I know it's not going to be worth full price. And then they, you know, and it's worth it to them to still sell it for less because they're still going to make a decent chunk of money back. But for something that's like $15, you're not going to make that money back because it's just $15. If you sell it at a discount, it's $10. Like, it's almost not, you know, it's not worth it. It's just that it's less worth it than turning something to 100 to 60, and it's a great deal for someone, but you can still make money off of it. Or not make money, but get some money back. Anyway, the point is just that in some ways it being more expensive is good that way, and for me, it being more expensive has been good in that I don't buy as much. I'm a little careful about what I buy because it's a lot of fucking money, and time and effort. Doesn't stop a lot of people, but it does stop me sometimes. There are some days where it didn't stop me. I definitely have bought myself, I've been sad some days and went and bought a fucking pity miniature, like a Great Unclean one or something, just to spend a bunch of money and feel better. But, you know, my main point was to get as fast as possible, get rid of the stuff. So yeah, exactly. 100%. I do the same thing. When I get rid of my models, I'm getting rid of them, so let's see. We have another option for a head. We can take either C10, which is the big top horns, or C53, which is the side splitting horns. I always liked separate horns over a uni-horn. I know this has two horns, but they're like kind of connected. I was never really a huge fan of the connected ones or the horns that go outwards like a bowl. I like the big, weird, almost bug-like horns going on there. So we're gonna go with that one for the champion. That's C53. Now, obviously, you can kit bash stuff, you can change stuff. I could take any of these heads. I don't have to take C53, but I'm trying to stick a little bit to the box on this one because I think I like having some boxed miniatures, and then later I come through and I add things and make stuff more crazy. But because again, I have a fuckload of bits, and I'm gonna have a fuckload of more bits at the end of this, or I'm gonna put those in the bits thing. The problem though is I play a lot of chaos, so most of my bits are chaos bits. So whenever I want to like kit bash something with my friends, I always kit bashing some weird ass shit. Actually, I can one second. This is completely unrelated. I'm gonna grab a couple of my kit bashes. They're mostly from my bits. A couple of them are from my friends' bits. But one second, let me go get it. Okay, one of my kit bashes is put away right now because he's one of my D&D characters. But I have a friend, my buddy, he runs like a Warhammer D&D sort of thing. And so I kit bash characters for that. My current one is named Roach. He's like a half servitorized human with a big old arm for some reason. Secret backstory, he used to be basically on the edge of becoming one of the eightfold or whatever they're called, like the not corn berserkers, but like human corn berserkers, you know. And then he got lobotomized to try and fix it, and it didn't really work, but he is nicer now. But that's what he was. But so I often come up with the idea for the characters as I'm building them. So this guy, I don't know his name yet, but he's an orc who really likes Daka. He's got a bunch of bullets. He's got 2 guns. He's got a grot who's holding a bullet in his mouth, like is holding on for dear life because he's got a really fast little mono wheel. He's got goggles because he knows he's gonna go fast. That's a character that's gonna be in that campaign at some point. I got this, which was like just as chaos a sorcerer as I could like throw together, like very Zinch, very chaos. And then I did I was testing out a chrome paint, which actually worked out really well. It doesn't look great on camera, but it looks good in person. And then this dude who I made yesterday, we had a little kit bash day. This guy, I'm calling him Greg. His name is Greg Smith. He's a regular human. There's no gene stealer? What are you talking about? This is Greg just is really dexterous. He just has a lot of arms. He just has a weird genetic problem. You be nice to Greg. He's definitely not a gene stealer. But yeah. Basically, I sat down yesterday and was like, what if too many arms? I trust Greg. Good. Greg trusts you. Greg trusts you, Brad. Also, welcome in. Welcome in. This is a pretty rare occurrence for me to like do modeling and stuff, but I am gonna try. I want to do more like IRL streaming stuff because generally my MO is video games and you know, I have a little like PNG tuber avatar going on, but today we're modeling because this is what I wanted to do anyway, and I almost didn't stream because I wanted to build models, and I was like, I'll just fucking build models on stream. What am I doing? My glue fell over. Okay. Ooh, and it's open. So interesting. The head. This is the reason they wanted us to do one of these heads is because you see how there's like a square side to this notch. Like there's a circular notch and a square side. The head itself. I keep going too high. The head itself has the same thing going on. So it's designed to be like set in looking in a certain direction. So yeah, we'll do that. Fill his little body with super glue. I was thinking about that when I put glue on like a spot with a hole, it's gonna like go down into the hole, and I don't know what's happening in there, but something. There we go. Boom. Look at that guy. Look at this guy. He's such a champion. He's literally a champion. All right. C8. Now I'm gonna have to keep getting up occasionally to do some shit on my computer, which is behind me across the room. So yeah. Also, again, because I'm doing this directly from my phone with no other thing, if you want music, you're gonna have to get your own. No music today. C7. C7. I'm so bad at finding the bits. I always struggle. I wish... Okay. Hear me out. They need to go one of two ways. I'm going to have a little rant here for a second. I'll put this aside. I'm going to have a little rant about the sprues. It needs to go one of two ways. They either need to make it so that the numbers are in order. So this would be C1, C2, C3, C4, like that kind of thing. Like it needs to be in order, because I understand that they fit the sprues together. They put parts in certain places so that it fits better, so it fits in this square. Because if they put them actually in the order you'd use them, then it wouldn't fit right. So I understand they put them in the order of the thing, but then they should number them accordingly. Or they could number them according to when you're using them, like they're doing here, you know, sort of, C1, C2, C3, like it's part of the process that they're labeling them in. But then you have to find it here, and it's random. So it's like, okay, I need C3. Where the fuck is C3? C3 was here, you know, C1 was over here. Like, it's kind of in the same area. It really should just be labeled after the fact, and then they come through and make the instructions. Like, in my opinion, it should be, like, labeled sequentially. So I go C3, okay, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, oh, there's C4. I found it. Now I know C3 is next to it, and I can just go over. Versus, okay, and then they kind of do it sometimes. You got 30, 33, 31, so they're vaguely in the same area, but then 2's over here, and 53. Like, guys, please, help me, help a guy out, you know? I'm stupid, and having to, like, search the entire fucking sprue to find what I'm looking for, but you've labeled it similarly because it's the same, like, a part that's, like, near each other in sequential order. That's great. That doesn't help me. It doesn't help that it's sequential. Just make it random. I would so much prefer it if these numbers were random. The fuck is it? What am I even looking for? It's like a foot. It's like a ungulate foot. I don't think ungulate's the right word. It might be. C31 is a foot. That's not what I'm looking for, though. And it's all in this sprue. The entire... My other sprue is only cultists. I won't get to them. C... I don't know. I keep saying C as if it says... This is C. 8. We're looking for 8 and 7, actually. Both of them. I know you guys can barely see it or read it, but... Oh, there's 7. That's the hand. Okay, we got 7. 8's still MIA, but there's the hand. I'm just going to have to go through it. 4, 13, 9, 21, 1, 10, 12, 30, 31, 31, or 30, 30, 18, not quite 8. 48, no. Okay, 36 is not right, but it is the right type of foot. You can't see it. God damn. Is it on the other sprue? Am I stupid? No, it's a C. It's all on this one. What the hell is it? I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna be really annoyed. Wait, it's right here. So I can't find it. I used it? Guys, I'm stupid. It was under. He was hiding it. It was under him. No wonder I couldn't find it. I was only looking in spots where there weren't things cut out. Alright. Okay. Anyway, this is what I get for going on rants and getting distracted. These very claws. These guys are going to have a lot of bone on them, which you wouldn't expect for, like, a big mutated space marine, I guess. But I guess it makes sense. Like, a lot of their stuff is going to be made of bone. Because it's all mutations. Okay. Do one of these. Also, you'll find sometimes I gouge into the model, but I tend to only do it in places where it doesn't matter, like the bottom of a foot. I didn't that time, but it does happen. Okay. Just put this boy together. Hand. How do you fit in? How do you fit in? Ah! Eureka. Now, the one problem with super glue, in my opinion, is that it is, while it is a faster set and it feels sometimes like a stronger set, like I have more things come off that were plastic glued that weren't like scored enough or whatever. It's supposed to be a stronger set with plastic glue, but with super glue sometimes it feels stronger. However, stuff does break. Like you'll drop a thing and it's way more likely to just shatter that piece because a very sudden hit on super glue, excuse me, is more likely to break it. I just watched a video about like the science of super glue. And that was something they mentioned, that like if you need to get rid of it, you know, you just bam, like a real hard hit. And it's true, because I'll do a tiny dot of super glue when I'm like putting stuff on bases, so that later when I want to like, you know, base a miniature, I just go real hard, like real fast, and it'll like break it off without, you know, ripping the legs off or anything. But for the Chaos guys, I've been real lazy, and I'm actually basing it mostly through texture pastes. So I do a texture paste of mud, I let that dry, and then I'll put skulls and things in it too, just for shits. And then I'll do a texture paint of snow, a little bit, like a smattering of snow. Like it snowed recently, but it isn't just snow. So there's like, because like, have you ever lived anywhere with snow? I haven't. But if you've been around snow or lived anywhere near snow, you know that snow isn't just snow. It's snow, it's mud, it's all kinds of other things all like packed in, and the snow itself gets muddy and slushy and weird. So I'm trying to like emulate that versus just, oh, it's freshly fallen snow, they're walking through a snowstorm, which a lot of people do for their texture paste, because it's easy. Heck, I did it for a really long time too. Though I do still tend to paint the rocks like they're ice. Or I could just do a rock. I don't know. But I do like my snow effects, especially because the red and white looks good together. So like when I started doing snow effects when I was like, oh, I want to do world eaters when I was, you know, in middle school. And then I changed my mind several times. But one of the things I changed my mind about it was that I wanted, you know, that the red and white look good and the blood look good on the snow. So it was just overall a good, fun choice. So in, on, okay, you stay glued for a second. Okay, we have a choice. While we're waiting for that to dry, waiting for that to set. We have a choice of power packs. I'm probably going to give it the one with the icon, I think, because I want to be able to identify that it's the Chosen guy. And I don't even know if the Chosen guy can take the icon. I think he can. Hold on, let me, what does it say? These new books actually tell you what they can take, kind of. Like it gives you some information on what the weapons are, which is fucking awesome. They didn't used to do that. They'd be like, I don't know, figure it out, idiot. But now they're like tell you what the weapons are called. So when you're trying to like figure out what you're putting on your models, you can actually like see it. Yeah, I'm gonna give him the icon, and it's what it shows in the picture. So I'm gonna assume he can take it. And if it's not a thing he can actually take, at the very least, it'll help me identify him. So it's fine with me. So the icon only fits on C11, it looks like. So we're gonna grab that, but also 13 is over here. And remember, keep away from the yellow snow. Yeah, I actually was contemplating if I ever did, because I have a demons collection, and it's probably what got me to think about choosing word bearers. Honestly, was that my demons collection is pretty significant, but I still wanted to play CSM. And I was like, well, I want to use the demons, I want to use the CSM, so I'm gonna go with both because like thematically it makes sense for even though they're not great to play with. Like the ally system for the demons isn't excellent. They kind of just don't have an army rule. But for some of the demons, I kind of wanted to, like, for some of the Nurgle ones, like, have snow next to them and then put a yellow tint on some of the snow, like whoever it was just pissed into the snow 10 seconds ago. Or like a dog or something, like one of the Cornate dogs. It does imply that they have, like, working digestive systems, but I mean, I did he's in the shelf right now. I do have a plague bearer that is absolutely shitting on a Nurgling, just incidentally, just covering the Nurgling. So I already implied that they had digestive systems, so. Okay. I need 11. It's gonna be a weird power pack with a missing back, essentially. 11. I also have a habit. I don't know if anyone else does. I mean, I'm sure other people do this. But, like, let's say that I'm doing Plague Marines or something, and I find a character with a fly helmet, you know? I'll give him every fly-themed thing I can find, like the fly shoulder and the fly leg guard. Like, I tend to, like, theme them around some certain things. So, like, this guy had, this, for example, this shoulder has spikes sticking out of it. And my immediate first thought was, okay, I want to give this to a character that is already covered in spikes. So, someone who has, like, this power pack, you know, with all the ribs sticking out, that's not focusing. This power pack with, like, the ribs and the spikes and stuff, I'd probably give him the spike shoulder, too, you know? That kind of thing. I like to theme it that way. Where the hell is this power pack? It's not real. It doesn't exist. 52, 42, 34, 25, 11. That it? 11. That is it. That was the one with the ribs. I literally just pointing out the one I was trying to cut. Whoops. I'm paying attention. Okay, so I won't be giving that guy the spike shoulder pads, but you know what I mean. You get me. Like, there's in the regular Marine box. Hold on, he might still be on the sprue because I didn't take him this time. In the regular Marine box, there is not this one. Or sorry, the regular Chaos Marine box. There's a helmet with a big old unicorn horn. I guess I might have used it. No, I didn't. Did I? Yeah, I did. Okay. There's a helmet, he's over my shelf, but I'm going to get him. There's a helmet with a big old, like, unicorn horn of a bladed unicorn horn coming out of the front. And there's a shoulder pad, which also has that. And on my first time I made those models, I made one of the guys have both. You know, like, I basically try and carry the theme across. Oh, it goes on the inside. It's not like the icons for the... Okay. That makes sense. Alright, let's clean this up. Actually, before I clean this up, 1 second. I'm going to walk on the other side of the room to do that thing I was talking about. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Alright, so this boy, we gotta clean up his little power pack. Gotta keep, totally not used to, like, I have to basically hug my phone on its little stand. So, like, it's here, and I have to put my hand around it, like, through the cable where it's plugged in and around to the other side. It's interesting. But gotta be oh so careful, because it's really close to some bits I don't want to cut away. On top of it being round, I mean, maybe it's just me. Oh, I'm completely out of frame. Maybe it's just me, but I absolutely do not like when GW decides, you know what? Let's put the flash where it connects to stuff on the round part. I would much rather it like connected to like even like one of these where it's like a slope or a straight bit that I could just cut off and then like go straight across, like blah blah blah. But for the round part, I have to like very carefully remove it because it's hard to keep round with flat, straight knife. And there are definitely some knife crimes that are happening here in terms of like what I'm doing to the model, but a little bit of primer hides any like weird marks that are showing up. Hooky dokie. Bop, chop, chop, chop. Alright. And now you get to discover that I make sound effects while I build models. I tend to make little noises when I cut into stuff, like chong, chong, chong. And sometimes I will make noises according to what I'm building. The entire time I was building and painting my Night Haunt, I was sitting there going, wow, like making ghost noises while I did it. And if you don't make noises, you're not doing it right. When you're building and you're painting, you got to think about the noises these things make, you know? Like in my head, this guy's very gurgly, and he barely knows how to speak anymore. Like, take a random phrase he might say, like, ready my war gear, right? It'd be like, ready my war gear. You know, that kind of shit. Like, you sit there and you fucking, like, make the voices and stuff for them. So you get the personality in your brain while you're doing it. And yeah, I'm a little weirdo. And I also do full assembles. I do not sub-assembly. If I can't see it, if I can't reach it, it's prime black, they can't see it. Like, if my dry brush of white, because I prime stuff black and then I dry brush it white, if my dry brush of white can't hit the spot, I leave it alone. It's black, it's dark, it's in shadow, and that's just the way it is. So like something like this, like the very, where the power pack meets the back, let me just grab a shitty brush I don't use right now. It has cat hair on it. Like, you could reach back here technically, and I might do like a bit of like red to just sort of match everything else, but no one's really looking here. No one's gonna see this model on the table and go, I mean, some people might, but anywhere that's like, here's a better example. Like, basically, where's the fucking... Actually, you can pretty much reach everything in this model. This is not a good example of what I'm talking about. There's a lot of models where you can't reach stuff. This one, you can reach everything. I can see that it's nice and open. So, normally, it's a problem. Or like, the back of the backpack, you can kind of like slop on some red, but because it'll be prime black, it'll be like less dark than the stuff that'll have the white dry brush on it over here. And so your eyes will be drawn to the more focal points, and you won't notice the other stuff, especially on the table. Okay, he uses a 40 mil. That's a 40 mil. I think. One sec. Let me double check. I've got a little sizing chart thing up, but it's like glued to my wall, so I can't pull it up and show you. It's just a piece of styrofoam that basically, I had a bunch of bases. Well, I measured them, and by the way, in case you didn't know, the bases sizes that they claim that they are wrong. So like a 40 mil base is actually like 41 millimeters across, or like 39 millimeters. It's like just not quite right. They never are, but they are the standardized GW bases. It's just the way they are. But basically, I measured them, figured out what the closest measurement was, and that's what they were. And then I took them and I put them on a piece of styrofoam, and then I traced around, essentially. And when I traced around them, I left a little mark that when I take it and put it on the sizing chart, it lines up perfectly so that I can still see the trace. If it hides the trace completely, then it's not that size, it's one bigger. And if you can see the trace and space between it, then it's not that size, it's smaller, you know? So I would take it down and show you, but it's very nicely put up, and I don't want to. Yes, that's a 40 mil, just to double check. Though, I did do this with this other piece of styrofoam, and I can show you this. Hold on. And I highly recommend if you have bits that you know you're never going to use, or you just... Honestly, I did this before I set up my bits drawer, so I probably would have saved some of these, like the cape. But if you have bits that you're like, oh, I don't know, I just want some different bits, and you have a bunch of different ones, you can put them on a piece of styrofoam. And this was me testing my airbrush, so that's what's happening there. But, or actually cleaning my airbrush, really. I was trying to get rid of everything that was left in it. But you can take it and you can use this to test your dry brushing. So you're like, what would this look like, you know? How much paint do I have in my dry brush? You can also use it to get the paint off your dry brush. It's called a texture board. But yeah, you don't have to use bits. I also have like sprue bits here. That would totally also work, just leftover sprue. The point though is to just get a bunch of varying textures that you can just like rub your brush on to make, you know, test your dry brushing and to get your dry brushing where you need it to be for whatever you're about to do. So yeah. So this glue is starting to get low. I only started using it for models recently, but I was using it like for a long time for magnetizing bases and for super glue does not stick to magnets. Or not super glue, plastic glue does not stick to magnets. And for feet, because I was doing it so that I could snap them off and actually base them. But for a lot of these, I'm just doing, you know, mud and snow. So for these guys, I don't have to do a small amount of glue. I can fully glue them to their base. All right, that's one. That's the champion. I'm going to try and keep them in frame. We'll see how successful I am. Only took us an hour, and that's because I won't shut up. There's a reason it says verbose up there. Okay, that's done. We did it. Check. Okay. So we got another option for this next guy. We can either have a claw hand or a cable hand. What's happening there? Oh no, it's a regular hand, but it's holding a piece of something broken, like a piece of cabling, or a skull. I think it's holding. Oh, it's not a piece. Okay, hold on. Let me pull that up. I think that might actually be a helmet, a piece of helmet. Is this the guy with the fucking... Oh, it's Gene Seed. He's holding Gene Seed in his hand. That's cool. Hold on. Is that what that is? It looks like that's what that would be. He's got the dead Marine right here, which I saw earlier. Although he doesn't have a... Wait, does he? Yeah, he has like a torn hole in his chest. Although I thought the Gene Seed was in the neck. I guess it's in the chest. I don't know where it is. I always thought it was neck. But I think that's what he's holding. Hold on. No, it's not. It's a helmet. It's a piece of a helmet. Man, it would have been so much cooler if he was holding Gene Seed, like he was about to eat it or something. But yeah, it's just a hand. Hold on. It's just a hand on a helmet, which doesn't... Oh, he doesn't have a helmet. Okay, so that makes sense. I'm going to do that because I like the storytelling of that. Even though, normally, I'd want to give him as many, like, mutated parts as possible. The hand without the helmet is more normal. But, the hand with the helmet is more normal. And I would rather do the claws with the helmet. But I like the storytelling aspect, so we're taking the helmet. So that's 16 and 15. Put these together, and then we're going to attach that to 14. See, they're doing this where it's an order in the book, but again, not helpful for finding them on the thing. 14. 14. What does that look like? It's a big old fucking claw thing. There it is. Well, it happened to be right by, so that's convenient at least. Sorry, I'm totally cutting away from you guys, but I want to see what I'm doing. What I need is like a head cam. Like just attached to my forehead. So I can just like look everywhere and you can just always see where I'm looking. Alright. So these are the three pieces we're starting with. This back here. Whoops. I'll pick that up later. Okay. gonna do a little bit of... gotta move my hand around, okay. A little bit of this. Come on. So tiny, so finicky. Oh, man. There was actually, when I was building that Gundam I was talking about the other day, yesterday, there is a tiny little red piece, little red triangle that goes in the direct center of the Gundam's head. And it's not very big. Like, it was literally about the size of this peg. Yeah. And it's bright red, because they print their plastic. Like, Gundam prints their plastic in color, so you don't have to paint it. It's really fucking cool. But that little piece of red was... Oh, I do really like painting. But the little piece of red was there in the, you know, in the forehead bit. And I cut it out of the sprue, and I was holding it. I was very careful, trying to be very, very fucking careful with it. And then I dropped it, and it's gone. It's somewhere on my floor. Unfortunately, there's a lot of other junk on my floor, like you know, containers full of paints and brushes and things, but near my desk at least. So it's pretty far gone somewhere. On top of that, there's also a cat that likes to abscond with things, so he might have also eaten it. And it's small enough that it wouldn't cause him any problems at all. Heck, you know, it's a very tiny piece of plastic. I mean, having plastic in your digestive system is not good, you know, because plastic not good for you. But he's already 1,000,000 years old. If a tiny piece of plastic in his digestive system is what kills him, he did it himself. He's much more likely though to die of like some sort of old age thing, like a stroke or something at the moment. He's a little skunkly guy. He's very cute and asleep over there. He's hanging out with me. Where's it going with that? The point is, I was lurking, and what a message I come back to. Yeah. Same about the bot, like doing this whole big thing. But yeah, my cat. Anyway, the point is, I lost that little piece, and now I have a little tiny piece missing on the forehead of my Gundam, and I'm probably going to have to green stuff it and just paint it red. Which isn't the end of the world, but it's kind of funny. And I'm like, damn, the whole point of these is that they're sort of self-contained. And I don't have to do that kind of stuff. Okay. So he's got the top half of the helmet in his hands, because the base that he's on is a dude who's missing the top half of his helmet. Like, he's ripped it off. Which is fun. I might try and get some, like, I almost said uwu glue. You know what I'm talking about. The fucking glue that's super stretchy people use for gore effects. It's called something else, but uhu glue, that's it. The uhu glue and blood effect, and then like damn it. And then have it like stretching from the top of his helmet. Although I don't know why taking off his helmet top would cause him to be gory, but I don't know. It gives that vibe of like the head's been crushed or something, you know? Okay. So he's got the top of his helmet in his hands. And then this attaches like this. Like this. Blood for the Blood God Technical is freakishly good blood paint. Yeah. For real. The amount of times I've gotten it on my hands and like my partner or something will be like, did you cut yourself? Are you bleeding? I'm like, no. It's paint. Like like gotten on a piece of paper or something. It's really good. But yeah, Blood for the Blood God is really good, but I like to combine it with or when I really want really big stringy gore effects, like, oh, this dude just got fucking to shreds, you say. That's when you whip out the uhu glue. That's not right. I just dry fit that. There we go. And you can get a little toothpick and you can make it like string across. It's really cool. Okay. I'm gonna move this over there. All right. Got that going. We need C18. This one's going a little faster, which is good. I'm getting less distracted. I said 18 earlier. There it is. What the fuck's going on with this? I'm glad there are instructions. If I had to do this manually, like without instructions, I don't think I could. It would be a puzzle. I don't know if I'd figure out. Because, like, hold on. You look at this, and it's obvious that this is the back, but it's like, where the hell? You know? Yeah, who... would have thought he had so much blood in him. What is that from? That's really familiar. It's a reference to something. I don't remember what, though. Is it? Unless you make it up. If you just made it up, then I'm just crazy and it just sounded good. But I swear that's from something. Okay, I majorly just carved into that there. But that's the underside of his ass. No one's looking at it, but I totally just got way too zealous with the knife. You can see like the... I mean, it's rounded, but it's a little more rounded than the other one. Macbeth. That's it. I knew it was something. Look at this weird squat this guy's doing. I mean, he's standing on a body, but, you know. Glue, glue, glue. Probably also, by the way, you might be judging the amount of glue I use. Feel free. Judge away. I do use too much. But it works. It glues. And that's what I want. I forgot it. I'm good. Totally didn't drop the hobby knife into my lap and freak out for a second as it was falling towards my lap. Okay. See, I started looking at the wrong instructions. This is why I mark it. Because I was up here and I started looking down here. We chose this guy. Did this. I don't know why I'm writing what I will throw this away when I'm done with it, but I'm just putting it down for me. Okay. C24, C19, and C20. 24, 20, they're right here. And then 19 might be around, hopefully. Or if just my luck, it'll be on the other side of the sprue. But 21 and 20 we can do. Or 24 and 20? 24 and 20 we can do. It's interesting that this one has prescribed heads. Like, this character always has this head kind of thing. Okay, 20 and 24. Well, it's not true. The first one was choose your own head. But now it's like, you don't get a choice. Oh, no, you get a choice later. Oh, what am I fucking saying? You know, I'm just kind of rambling. Ignore me. I'm not judging you for the glue. I'm judging you for not securing the head first. What do you mean? Elaborate. Secure the head. It's right here. I got it. C19. Oh, you mean like before I put the body on? I mean, it's got a little peg. It's fine. Honestly, I usually, for most things, I put the head on last. Because I like to pose the head looking in a certain direction or something. Especially like if they have the gun pointing or whatever, I want them to be like aiming with the gun, not just like pointing in one direction and looking somewhere else. C19. C19 was on the other side of the goddamn... Also... Oh, this is annoying. Okay. I'll deal with it. I'm going to deal with it in a different way. A lot of stuff that comes in the Chaos Space Marine thing puts the fucking Eye of Horus on stuff. Come on. See that? That's not just the Chaos symbol, that is the Eye of Horus Chaos symbol, which means that's a Black Legion shoulder pad. My dudes aren't Black Legion. Stop forcing me to have Black Legion shoulder pads. So I'm going to do a little surgery for a second here. I'm not going to remove the symbol, but if you're careful, you can sort of flatten out the area where the eye is. Hold on. So you sort of remove the eyelid and the eye and make it all one sort of circle. And then... And again, very, very carefully. So you do that. And then, once you get rid of the texture, you just have a weirdly shaped little Chaos Star. Done. No more Eye of Horus. Not Black Legion anymore. Recently learned that a takoyaki maker is crazy expensive. $28. I mean, that seems reasonable to me. You mean like just wait? Are you talking about? Hold on, takoyaki maker is it something that like you put the ingredients in, it like bakes them in the circle, and then you pull it out, or is it just like literally just a plastic container that you put the batter in, and then you have to still do all the rest of the cooking and stuff yourself, or like not plastic, probably metal if it's being cooked, but like a little circular metal container, inexpensive. I can read, I swear. I was like, that's not bad. Okay, that explains. I was confused. I was like, that's $28 for a takoyaki maker is fucking good. Okay, but I didn't want to. I was suddenly worried that I was out of touch on what expensive meant anymore. I was like, wait, am I rich and I didn't know? Like I was like, this is $28. Feels like worth it for a takoyaki maker. Okay. Here's my problem though. I love takoyaki. I love how it tastes, except for that I hate when they put too much fucking too many bonito flakes on it. Chill with the bonito, God. Just being on with half orbs on it, you were to takoyaki when they're cooked. Yeah, that makes sense. But I don't feel morally bad about eating most creatures. I love me some pork. I know pigs are smart. I love me some beef. I know cows are less smart. Like, I own chickens as pets, and I still love chicken. It's one of my favorite, types of meat. I eat chicken all the time. And I don't mind, even though I have these animals and I know what they're like as like, real creatures. I'm still willing to eat them. But octopus, is a little bit harder for me because they are just on the edge of a little too smart for my taste. And it's that one makes me go. So I'd probably put like squid in there or something, or I would just some other meat that a little less smart. I don't know why smart matters to me, but it feels more human because it's more smart, because we consider our smartness what makes us different, what makes us human or whatever. And I've got a similar feeling towards the octopi. But that being said, every time I've gone to Japan, I have had takoyaki because it's still delicious. I've had it at least once, and I make one exception. I'm like, all right, today's the takoyaki day. I will eat an octopus, and then I go back to not eating them anymore. So, like, if I see it out here where I live at like a restaurant or something, I won't get it unless I am actively in Japan and it's like a street vendor and it's like meant to, you know what I mean. Like, I have very specific requirements for eating takoyaki, and it's my one for the trip or whatever. Just because they are quite smart little guys. Like, there's an octopus that I know that, like, I don't know him personally, but I know of, that would basically escape its tank nightly, go into the other fish tanks in, like, the aquarium, because it can squeeze through small spaces, steal and eat those fish, and then go back into its own tank at night. Like, it would just go back into it, and they would be like, nope, they'll never know. Like, that kind of shit. That's the level of, like, It makes me rethink some of it. Yeah. And even then, if I didn't like pork so much as a meat, I would also probably do something similar. I'd also probably have a similar problem with pork, but unfortunately that one is too tasty for me. So I do not judge anyone who eats takoyaki. I just, because I understand it's delicious. I've had it. It's just not my bag where I can help it. But a takoyaki maker lets you make takoyaki out of anything. I mean, I think animals just adapt the intelligence that works for the ecological niche. Some of those we treat as sort of dumber. Yeah, no, you're probably right. You are probably 100% right. I'm not saying it's entirely logical on that one for me. It's just a gut feeling, you know? But yeah. I totally get it. But again, with the takoyaki maker, you could make it out of anything. You could make katsu is technically a type of pork cutlet, but you know what I mean. Like, you could, I forgot what the name for other meats are in Japanese, but you could make I'm just going to say a katsuyaki or something, like you could do whatever you wanted with a maker, which is kind of fun. Just a fried dough ball with something in it. Crab. Ooh, I'll fuck up a crab, though. I'll kill a crab myself and crack a shell open. I don't care. Give me that boy. Suck out his innards. Can do substitute talking. Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing. That's cool though. You have given me dangerous information, by the way. I didn't know that a takoyaki maker was so cheap, and now I'm considering it, especially because I do like fried dough. You know, I know that's a crazy thought. Wait, why is this going like this? What the fuck is happening with this dude? Why is he like? What? Okay, that goes here. And this, why is the neck piece so far up? Is that what's supposed to be happening? The hell am I looking at? Okay, it wants me to attach that after. But does this fit here? No, it fits there. So the claws are supposed to be. Hold on. You should dedicate time to like your. Yeah, no, totally, 100%. But yeah, that was dangerous knowledge. Thank you, but goddamn. Oh, there we go. I knew the neck looked weird. Okay, so this is why we dry fit. I thought he had a necklace for a second. It is not. It's grippers. It's toes. Give them back. Mr. Possessed, put your grippers away. Alright. Okay. And then this, figured it out through a little notch in the back here. Right there. It's like, oh, that's how that goes. Okay. Let that dry for a second while I pick up my sprue I dropped. And then we stick our little toesies in there. Little toesies. It's funny, this arm reminds me of an arm you can see that it pops up in the what's it called? Not the Possessed, because that's what these are. The other Chaos dudes, the Chaos Horrors, or what are they called? Chaos, they're like masses of flesh. I forgot what they're called. It might be horror, but no, horrors are Zinch things. They're like what are they? What are they fucking called? They're like mutant looking things. Anyway, basically the evolved version of this has the same arm. Like you can see him becoming one of those little guys that can like barely think and just kill. All right, 40 mil. Nice. Wow. Glue. And shablamo. Oh, guys, I talked to my tax guy today. Wait, is this supposed to be standing in the air? Like, I guess he's not. Oh, that's fine. Whatever. I talked to my tax guy today. I'm probably gonna get a refund. Exciting. I thought I was gonna owe money, but I don't. They owe me money. They owe me like several $1,000s. I got real lucky on that one. Somebody fucked up giving away my money to the taxes. I mean, I'm glad they did it for me, but they fucked up. Okay. 26. Okay. Bonk. Bink. Boom. 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 Okay. 26. So if not Black Legion, who? I'm doing Word Bearers. Because Word Bearers are the bearers of the word, and everyone knows that the word is great. I did do Black Legion for a little bit, but Word Bearers are just more my style. I like them a lot. And don't worry, I also hate Erebus with a passion. I literally just read the start of the Horus Heresy series, like the first 3 books, where Erebus basically sets everything in motion, the little fucker. Though, I will admit, everyone blames Erebus, and he is the one that does it. However, Horus was so fucking ripe for the, I like the demonic flavor of the word bearers. I mean, the word eaters. The word eaters, yeah. um, yeah, I like the demonic flavor of them too. I also have a lot of demons that I take as allies if I can help it and things like that. So, I'm getting more demonic guys in if I can help it, like the master possessions and things like that. Like I was mostly just bog standard because I was playing Black Legion, so I didn't have a whole lot of demonic stuff, and now I'm like leaning more into that where I can. I want to get some of the demon engines too, potentially. Though I like to paint stuff. Actually, wait, I'm getting distracted. I was about to say, well, Horus was kind of ripe for corruption, and Erebus, well, he was the guy who was there. He was doing it under Lorgar's orders. So, who really is the bad guy? Master Possession is such a cool model. Yeah, it was really cool. I built it last night. It was like the first one I built out of this box. It was really neat. I liked it a lot. Yeah, I want to do some fucking... Well, I forgot what my tangent was about. Yeah, word bearers. They're cool. Oh, yeah. I paint a lot of my models with the idea of, like, so the base troops and stuff like the possessed. So my basic guys, my basic Chaos Space Marines are word bearers, and so are the Chaos Lords are word bearers, and, like, my Dark Apostle is a word bearer, that kind of thing. But anything that's like a Havoc, or like my Havocs and my Warp Talons, all the Warp Talons could have been word bearers too, but my Havocs, my Warp Talons, my, you know, I have some Berserkers, I have some Plague Marines. I paint all of those like they're actual legions. So like for the Havocs, I make them Alpha Legion. For the Warp Talons, they're Night Lords. You know, obviously the Berserkers are still World Eaters, and the Death Guard are still the Plague Marines, because I like the idea of my Word Bearers Legion supplementing themselves, like, with other legions as mercenaries, kind of thing. Like, when I want to take Warp Talons, I'm bringing, you know, a certain warband of Night Lord Warp Talons in, essentially. Or if I'm like, oh, we really need Havocs, we don't have any, but Alpha Legion really likes their overwhelming firepower, so let's grab them, you know, that kind of thing. Or this Alpha Legion warband likes that. So that way I get to paint other styles, but my main force and like the way I play them is still word bearers with the upgraded like dark packs and stuff like that. So yeah. But I do like having alternate styles. But if anything is like obviously word bearer, like you know, some sort of demon related or god related thing, it's gonna get painted in the reds and silvers. And other things like the Master of Executions is probably good. I mean, if I had one, I'd probably make him a word bearer too, just because it makes more sense to make him match the rest of the army. But like squads of weird things, I might change. Like I currently have one word bearer Hellbrute and one what's it called? I have one word bearer Hellbrute and one Black Legion Hellbrute, partly because I was doing Black Legion at the time. But also because I like the idea of, like, you know, it's on loan. Ab put it on loan. I also have an Abaddon. But you know, I'm probably not going to use him much anymore. But I don't want to sell him because I really like the model and he's fun to have. And maybe one day I might like, Abaddon is taking over the word bearers. He said, "Fuck you guys. I'm in charge now." World Eater players are rattling the cage, by the way. Every post in the forum is like, can I have a proxy? Hold on. Yeah. Also, thank you for the loop goop. Loop? Thank you for the lurk goop. Have a good kitchen clean. Yeah, World Eaters are fun. It's unfortunate they have such, like, it's going to be really hard for them to get variety in their, like, in their units, you know, because it's like there's only so many things you can do with the World Eaters in terms of variety. But it is, I'm really glad they got their own their own legion. Thanks for the loop, Kirk. You know, I was worried that this stream was, I was going to like make these models too quickly and the stream will be over like in an hour. That is not the case. I'm on the third guy. We're an hour and 20 in. I still have cultists to do. Like, I might be here for a bit. Give me one sec. I gotta make sure I did not receive a text. No, we're good.